Okay, please make sure your cell phones are on silent. And remember, there's no recording, video recording of this press conference. And if you would raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you. And please state your name and affiliation. We'll start right here.
Don Michael Sauls with the State Newspaper. I know the transfer portal opened a couple of days ago. I'm just curious, how do you and your staff kind of go about balancing watching and recruiting out of the portal while simultaneously, prepping for the Sweet 16 and beyond?
I mean, it's part of our job, so it's part of the job description. So, I mean, we're talking to some people that we're interested in, at least talking to their representatives. That's just part of it. It's if you have a need, the transfer portal is more than enough in there to find someone that could help your program. So,
Right here to the right.
Roy Johnson from AL.com. As women's basketball has AL.com.
I'm about to say AOL. I was like, you're speaking my language. You're speaking my language.
No, we're the largest news organization in the state.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So as women's basketball has evolved over the last year or so, how has your role evolved beyond basketball, being a face of the sport, having discussions about leadership beyond basketball with your players? How has that role evolved for you?
I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm comfortable in my skin with dealing with look, sound, feel. If something looks, sounds, or feels off, then I address it. If it looks, sounds, or feels great, then I promote it. So it's what it's supposed to be. Our program has been very successful, and more times than not, the questions about the state of our game is directed towards the most successful coach. So I've been, and I don't mean to sound like I'm patting myself on the back, but it's just how it is in our sport. We just gravitate towards, who's had the most success to figure out, to get quotes about our game. I mean, I would probably say the same thing that I say today that I would have said 15, 20 years ago, but we were just still trying to become a prominent program. And now that we field those questions, and I only want our game to grow, even if that's the detriment momentarily to our program, and I'm okay with that.
Hi, Dawn Alanis Timms with the AP. Kind of sticking with just the general women's basketball, as a fan, a supporter of the game, how tough or unfortunate was it to see Juju Watkins go down for the season?
Really tough. Juju's loved by all of us. Juju is raising and lifting our game up with how she plays, with cornering the market when it comes to NIL deals. She's a business herself, and to see part of that not be a part of our NCAA tournament, something's missing. There's a big void, and we were fortunate enough to be one of her schools in the end. So I've kept in touch with her, her support system. I sent her a text out. The night of the injury, but it went green, so that means I don't have the right number. But her person sent me the right number last night, so I shot her a text last night.
Left aisle.
Andrea Adelson with ESPN.com. Don, you talked last season about the challenges coaching the team presented to you with so many youngsters. I'm wondering, as you headed into this season, whether you had a different approach with players coming back off of last year.
I think the biggest thing in winning a championship and then coming back is the players seem to forget how hard it was. Like we won, we were undefeated, and you can kind of get drunk off that success and think we can do it again, and it's much harder than they could have ever imagined. So we had to work through just not playing our best basketball early and not playing to the standard that we were used to. And, those lessons came with a few losses this season that we needed. Like every single one of our losses came at a time where we needed it, and we came out better because of it. And I hope it's enough to get us to the finish line.
Right here to your left.
Don Chaz Frazier, ABC Columbia. This is the 16th ranked team you're going to play this year. You never shy away about saying early in the year you schedule for this time. So describe how the gauntlet of schedule, the regular season, just primes for the biggest stage in March.
We manufacture our schedule so we can, in the end, like now in March and April, we're prepped for styles of play. We're prepped for being seasoned and playing against highly competitive programs. It's what we've done. Like, it's what we've done for probably my entire career, or it's probably what we've wanted to do for my entire career. So it's not based on trying to pad wins, because we're not like that. We try to pad championships, and the only way you do that is you play, a really good competitive non-conference. The SEC is going to be super competitive, so we just like to prepare for moments like the Sweet 16 and knowing that it's going to be a hard-fought matchup, and hopefully we got enough familiarity to, if we're in a tight game, to finish it, to know how to finish it, and not blink, not flinch, just finish it.
Right here.
Over here. Ben Pickman from The Athletic. General question. You guys, Texas and LSU, are all in the bottom 15% in the country in three-point attempt rate. I guess, how important do you think the three-point shot is to modern-day women's college basketball, and why are you guys able, you guys as a trio, able to have success without, taking a ton of threes?
Well, I would say one is personnel-based. Two is if you're not going to be able to control the three-point line, then you got to control the paint. So I don't know what the numbers are as far as controlling the paint, but I'm quite sure that connects all of those programs that you've just mentioned. So there's a way around it. Obviously, we got some players in that can shoot it. Probably hasn't shot it as well as we shot it last year. But when you make winning, points in the paint battle, when you make that an emphasis, you can, and you defend, you give yourself an opportunity to really win some tough basketball games and compete for a national championship.
Hey, Don, Cameron Teague with The Athletic. I'm curious just your thoughts on the two regional system. I know obviously in the past you had four, but I'm curious if it changes anything for your scheduling when you have all 8 teams, that you're trying to juggle practice schedules and things of that nature, or how it impacts you guys at all.
Yeah, that's probably it. You don't get a shoot around time at a reasonable hour. Other than that, I actually like the two regions. I like having 7 other teams that's trying to advance to the Elite Eight and advance to the Final Four, right in one place. I do think it allows our fans of women's basketball to gravitate to one spot, and I know the attendance will be up because of it. So bottom line, we need to drive revenue as much as possible.
Right here in the front.
Alan Cole, GamecockScoop.com. Just on tomorrow, you faced Maryland the last 2 years, but not this year. Is this a similar-looking Maryland team to the ones you've scouted in the past, and what does stand out about them just as a matchup?
Not similar in their personnel, but similar in how they play. I think Brenda has this team. This is how she wants to play, and when you're able to play your style of play, you feel comfortable going into every basketball game. They will shoot the 3-ball. They will drive it down your throats. They got some bigs that can command the paint. They play up and down. They get up and down the floor. They want the game in the 80s and 90s. in hundreds if they can. So I think it's very similar in the style of play, just different people. And she got some players out of the transfer portal and made herself a team, and they got great chemistry. I think that is super cool that you can bring in as many new players and get them to gel. Super cool, and happy for Brenda for that.
Right here in the front.
Cassandra Neglia with Yahoo Sports. On Selection Sunday, you had kind of mentioned potentially changing your approach to scheduling in terms of the non-conference. Now that it's a couple weeks later, do you think in the future you'll maybe peel back with less top competition? Because you have played not even just a really tough schedule, but some of the very best teams.
Yes. And let me preface this, and I should have prefaced this a couple of weeks ago. Me speaking out about not being the #1 overall seed, I hope didn't diminish what UCLA earned and deserved and accomplished. I should have led with that. Me speaking out is more about what should happen in the future. So I'm speaking about the future and how you need to look at teams that manufacture schedules, for that moment. If we're unable to get a #1 seed because we lost in a head-to-head, I mean, would you play that? Would you think about playing UCLA if they're going to use that against us? Would you think about if you lose to UConn, by 29 points, but you still got the #1? You competed and you got the #1 schedule in the country, and you could never get it back. Like, yes, we have to think about that. We still wanna elevate our sport in the way that it should be and play these games. I say that as moving forward, but the competitor in me, we're gonna play the games. We're gonna play the games, but I do need the committee to look at it from our vantage point, which is you're telling me we lose 3 games, and to play the schedule that we play, we can't ever be considered for the #1 overall seed. So, I mean, that's what I want them to think about, not necessarily diminishing, the overall #1 seed, because, I mean, UCLA's had a great year. Like, they deserve it. We deserve it. Like, it's a topic of conversation. Well, I think we deserve it. They got it. What I say doesn't matter, because I'm not a decision maker, but I do need the decision makers to see another side of it.
Right here on the aisle too, right?
Hey, Don. Kareem Copeland, Washington Post. You talked earlier about, the players sometimes forget how hard it was the year after. I'm curious, now that you've done this, multiple times, what have you learned about trying to make that run the next year as you get through the tournament?
It's hard. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, parity is alive and well in our game. And I do know that, you have to be disciplined. You have to create some really good championship habits in order for you to continue to get back to this place. You got to have really good coaches that do a really good job at scouting. And that's hard, because there are some really good teams that can change their style of play in a matter of a second to give themselves an edge. So I mean, it's hard, but that's why we do it. That's why we, that is the pull. That is the very thing that we gravitate towards, because we know anything that's hard is going to be gratifying.
Last question right here.
Hey, Don, Doug Farmer, DAP. A two-part question. First part is, did you watch the Maryland-Alabama game? I know you're a huge fan of the sport. It's a pretty great game to watch. So just your thoughts of watching that game as a basketball fan more than just a coach. The other part is just a quick transfer portal question. Again, you've been very active in the past and very successful in it. Is the timing right for it to be now? Is there a time you'd say it'd be better if it was after the Final Four, or whenever you think would be the best time?
Yes, I watched it. And obviously, that was our next opponent. I watched it live. And I was actually cheering for the SEC because I know how hard it is in our league. And I wanted our league to be rewarded for just being the best, most competitive league. That's just the SEC in me. But Maryland hung in there. You know, they hung in there, and they made an incredible comeback. And then you start, then you start looking at Maryland like, they came back. Should they win it? I was looking at it from a fan and not necessarily the next opponent, which is cool. So you can compartmentalize, being a fan and it being our next opponent and really appreciating. I look at, I did text Christy and let her know, I'm sorry they had to lose that basketball game. She worked extremely hard, and that's not, that game isn't indicative of their season. And then Barker, you got to give it up. I just, it's hard when someone is just pouring her heart out onto the court and you come up short. You want it for a player that exemplifies, the competitive nature of who we are as women's basketball players and coaches, enthusiasts and participants. And now the transfer portal. I think the timing is all screwed up. It really plays on your ability to compartmentalize. It really plays on it. If you aren't, most coaches are, but if you're not really good at it, it could sidetrack you. But for us, the main thing at this point is trying to win another national championship. And the people that are in the portal, if they can't really understand that, there probably aren't ones that prioritizes winning the national championship. So, it is, but you still have to do it. Do I? Yes, yes. I'm going to call somebody, when I leave here, a few people, just because you just got to let them know, hey, we're thinking about you. We got this run we're trying to, but you are a priority for us. So.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Shout out to our local media for coming. How many people we got from Columbia? Almost this whole side. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Coach.
And Greenville. And y'all.
This is Adele.
No, we need to.
Oh, it's just us? Oh my gosh.
Don't do a switcheroo on us.
Oh.
Hand me your plate down there.
Mine?
Who does?
Oh.
Yeah, it's diabolical.
Wow.
There you go. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Sorry. Okay, we're ready for the South Carolina players. Please raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you. Right here in the front,
All right,
right?
Hi, this is Roy Johnson from AL.com. Have you all talked about being in Birmingham at all, the historical significance of the city, and do you know if the team has any plans on visiting any of the historical sites here?
Chloe, we'll start with you.
Not really, and I don't think we're gonna be able to visit stuff, even if we want to, because we don't really have much time, you know, just kind of focus on the game.
You all.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I mean, I've been here a few times. I love it here. But
Back over here.
Thomas Ashworth with AL.com as well. Chloe, you've elevated your game, it seems like, over the last few games. I mean, you're averaging 12 points a game and shooting probably 60 or 65% from the field just since the SEDC tournament. Can you just kind of talk about just kind of what's been on your mind, just kind of how you've been able to kind of take that step, especially in the postseason?
I just want to win and do what my team needs me to do, and I just feel really confident and comfortable out there, and that's because my teammates feed me with confidence, and as well as my coaches, and I just want to win.
Here in the aisle.
Hey, y'all, Kareem Copeland, Washington Post, for anybody or all. Don was just in here talking about, you know, the year after you guys win one, the hardest thing for some players is to remember how hard the challenge that it took to get there in the first place. So I'm questioning, my question is, how did you guys kind of keep that edge throughout the year, and was that part a challenge?
Tahina, if you'll start that one.
we just had to keep reminding ourselves the grind that we had to get to back to where we want to be at, and we just got to keep reminding ourselves that it's not going to be easy. You know, every team is out to get us, and so we just got to bring our A game every night because everyone's going to bring their A game, and we just got to, you know, keep our heads high and just play our game and continue to be aggressive, be physical, and just play our game.
Malaysia.
Yeah, I think Powell kind of said it exactly what I was going to say. I feel like when you're winning a lot, it's kind of hard to remember that you can lose, and I think this year showed us that, and it just made us want it even more, honestly. And now we understand how it goes. We just want to win, and we remember what we did last year to help us win, and we just got to bring some of those habits with us this year.
Chloe.
Yeah, what they said.
Far right.
For you, Cameron T. from The Athletic, for you, Malaysia, I'm curious just how would you characterize your growth from your freshman year to now, and when you come in to a program like South Carolina, as highly recruited as you were, how much does just the standard that Dawn has set on this program and puts on you guys, how much has that helped you as well?
I think my growth has been tremendous. I think I've grown in lots of places where I didn't even know I could grow in. So I'm just glad to be here in a program where the coaches are kind of very open and very direct with what they want and what they need from each and every one of us. And I think I kind of just took what they were saying, and I had to understand that it's either I do it or I don't. And I felt like I wanted to do it, and it's been working for me lately. So the standard that Don got here is great, and I think every player should want to play under this standard. It just brings out the best of each and every one of us, and I think it definitely brought out the best for me.
Back to the right.
Thank you.
Doug Feinberg, DAP. Tahina, you were a transfer portal success story coming to South Carolina. There's already 900 kids in the portal already 3 days in. Is there things you would, if you'd be in charge of the process, is there something you would change that was good, that was bad for those coming in, the timing of it all? Anything, if you were the one in charge of all this, would you change anything in the way the portal works?
Well, I'm one of the few that has a great successful portal story. You know, when you come into a program like South Carolina and how I came in last year, I had no idea what was going to happen, and it was the best decision of my life. And so probably one of the things I probably would want to change is the NIL about it. You know, a lot of kids are leaving because of it, and I just think that, I mean, yeah, you can help, and you know, but at the same time, I just feel like you just have to follow your heart instead of the money, and just be able to have fun with the game and create those relationships that I've created, and just be able to fall in love with the game back again, and just continue to play the game that you love.
Going to the aisle.
Kareem Copeland, Washington Post again. Chloe, as you guys are doing your scout, a couple things that stand out about Maryland to you, and a couple things that you guys got to make sure you take care of.
I mean, they're a really good team. They're here for a reason. As you see in the Alabama game, when they played Alabama, they just fought really hard. So we need to be ready for everything. I mean, they have good shooters, good post players, so we just need to follow our scout like our coaches told us to do. And, you know, go out there and play with heart. Go out there and play like it's our last game. It's not going to be, but yeah.
To the right.
Cameron Teague with the Athletic again. Tina, I wanted to ask you, when I asked Malaysia about her growth, you were nodding pretty heavily. Just, I'm curious your thoughts on where she's grown the most right now, and how that helps and impacts you guys.
Yeah, no, she's grown tremendously. It's such a great thing to see. You know, when you have that jump from being a freshman to a sophomore, it's been a really blessing to see. And she's been taking everything to heart and just listening and just having fun with it. And she's changed a lot. I mean, she's using her voice a lot more this year than she did last year, which is normal as a freshman. You don't really know what to say. You're just now getting to the college scene. And so just being able to hear her voice and see what she's doing out there on the court, it's great. And that I know her journey is not done yet. She's still growing, and her confidence is growing with her as well. And she's becoming a leader for our team, and she's playing a really big role this year. And she's just got to keep moving and grooving and doing what she does, and just keep playing with confidence that she's been playing with.
Far right.
Yeah, just for whoever wants to answer. I mean, you guys watched, Maryland play a really good Alabama team and, play them really hard to a double overtime game. Just what did you learn from that game specifically about playing, a team that you guys are really familiar with in Alabama?
Chloe, if you'll start.
Yeah, sorry, I feel like it is.
They're just a team that gives multiple efforts, and we're a team that also plays with multiple efforts as well, and that they're a really good rebounding team. So we're gonna have to really key on boxing out and not letting them getting offensive boards, and just being real physical and real aggressive from the start of the game into the end of the game, and just playing a full 40 minutes on both ends of the court.
Malaysia.
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Any questions on Zoom? Okay, thank you, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.